guys. Today we are going to be going over the PAVE checklist for a commercial check ride, just getting ready. When it's time to do your stage exam, you want to make sure that you know where you're going, what you're doing, and know the practice area that you're going to, the possible airports, all that kind of things. And so you want to make sure that you are fully prepared, and that's why we have our PAVE checklist. So yeah, why do we have it? It's to ensure the known risk factors of that flight are minimized. So this could be, so what the PAVE stands for is pilot, aircraft, environment, and external pressures. So just making sure that everything, that the amount of risk is very much minimized for the flights. So here are some of our references. This is in the ACS, we have the TCO, it talks about this sort of stuff as well, and then our risk assessment sheets that we do for our flights, we always fill those out. Those are just another way to ensure that all risk is assessed and minimized. So we'll get into it. Pilot, the P of PAVE stands for pilot, and in pilot we have this checklist called the I'm Safe checklist. So it stands for illness, medication, stress, alcohol and drugs, fatigue, and then emotions and eating and things like that. So illness, making sure that you are healthy, making sure that you didn't take any medications that you shouldn't have, which falls into medication, but illness, making sure that you don't have any sinus issues, that you are good, ready to go for your flight. Medication, this one, like I mentioned, taking any medication that you're not supposed to take, or ensuring that you have taken medication that you need to take. Stress, so how are you feeling, what's going on, that one, yeah, just like how much stress is in your life right now. A stands for alcohol and drugs, so we all know if you had alcohol within the past 8 hours or 12 per Riddle rules, you cannot fly. Drugs, you can't have any, so just ensuring that you are good there. Fatigue, how you're feeling, what your fatigue level is. If it's a morning flight, you might be a little bit tired. It's been a long day, just things like that, and really knowing where you are on your personal fatigue scale. And then emotions and eating, I like to throw eating in there because I always get a little hangry when I haven't eaten in a while. So just making sure that your emotions are good, you're in a good mental space, ready to perform to your best. So that's what we have for our pilot section, just things about you, ensuring that you are good and ready to go. A stands for aircraft. So with our aircraft, we have two checklists, the Aviate and the Sparrow checklist. The Aviate is for our inspections. The Sparrow is for our documents that we have to have on board. So just going through and ensuring that all of these are done in their proper timeline, that we have all of our documents on board. So we have our annual, our ADs, VOR, 100-hour, our pedostatic system, transponder, and our ELT, making sure that those are all good, checked, ready to go on our flight. And then our documents that we need to have, our supplemental documents, our placards, airworthiness certificate, registration, both the state and the federal, the radio license, that's for international, our operator's handbook, and our weight and balance. So just really ensuring that we have all the aircraft documents, all the inspections, that the aircraft is good, ready to go, and have a good flight. The V, it stands for environment. And so for this, we have our Northwest craft. So that stands for NOTAMs, weather, known ATC delays, runways and taxiways, alternates and airports, fuel requirements, and takeoff and landing distances. So for an example, if we're going to take off from Prescott and we're going to go up to, let's say, Seligman, so we're going to go through the Cottonwood area, we would go through our pilot checklist, illness, medication, stress, alcohol, drugs, fatigue, emotions. I'm doing good there. We're going to get our aircraft. We can check the clipboard, check our inspections, make sure that those are all good, and then make sure that we have all our documents on the aircraft. Now, environment, we're going up to Seligman, so we're going to check any NOTAMs at both Prescott and at Seligman, make sure that there's nothing that's going to stop you from being able to go there. Check the airspaces, the practice area, all of that. Just check and make sure that everything's good. Weather, you're going to look at your weather from out of Prescott. I know Seligman doesn't have a METAR, I don't believe, but you can use the Clark area, you can use surrounding areas, and then the practice area, just kind of doing a general look and seeing what's going on, if there's any precipitation, things like that. Known ATC delays, that one's, we won't face that as much. There could be delays though at our airport, or it could just be busy with all the riddles that are getting ready to take off, so just having that in mind. Runways and taxiways, so making sure that you understand all of them, that you have them like sort of like a mental picture ready to go, that you have expected taxi routes all planned out for where you're gonna land, and then also taking off here, so just making sure that you have the briefing, making sure the runways, that you're prepared, that you know how to enter the traffic patterns, know like what the pattern altitude is, what the turns are, what direction turns, all of those things about the runways. And then alternates in airports, so knowing your airport, kind of like we just mentioned, and then alternates, knowing where you're going to go if you have to go somewhere else instead, where you can divert to, things like that. Our fuel requirements, so making sure that you follow both the FAA and the Riddle fuel requirements in terms of flying, making sure that you're good to go there. And then takeoff and landing distances, so having those all calculated out, ready to go for the specific temperature that is current, just making sure that you have those all down, that you are good, that you're not going to have any issues with the runway being too short or anything like that. So that's pretty much our environment checklist. And then lastly, we have our external pressures. So this one is just kind of like how you feel, like what's going on in your life. Is there anything that's sort of forcing you to do this flight? It could be like, oh, you need to finish this rating, like your parents or family, you have a deadline coming up, like just what kind of pressures are you facing, and if there's anything that could sort of affect your ability to perform in this flight. So that is an overview of our PAVE checklist. We have the pilot, aircraft, environment, and external pressures with all of our little acronyms throughout those. We do this before all flights, just to ensure that everything is looking good. Now, as a student pilot practice, I want the student to plan a risk assessment and PAVE assessment to the P52, the Cottonwood Airport, and Cottonwood practice area, and to use the current weather and current conditions. This would be like if it is the day of their check ride, they want to make sure that they have everything all either like written out or on their iPad or in their heads. Just go through everything and make sure that the flight is looking good, that you do a really good in-depth, and just make sure that you are prepared to ace your check ride.